Sure, how.
There's food for sure. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. Some people we should have enough to hear everybody here. It's short out this morning. Not an hour late like last time. Thanks everyone. My name is Matt Hannon. I'm a business sustainability advisor with Boulder County PACE. And I know it's fair around you, but definitely some good faces here. Thanks everyone for coming. We host a couple of these kind of events a couple times a year, usually in the spring and the fall. We'll do kind of a spring kickoff event, updates, what's going on around town, what's going on around the county, what's going on with local utilities. So that's kind of what's happening here today. We have a fall event as well. We do a little bit more recognition, recognizing some of the businesses in the Green Business Program. Quick housekeeping items. A lot of breakfast food in the back. Thank you very much to Excel who I believe provided that. Appreciate it. Yeah. We got lots of top back there, plenty of food. Bathrooms, water out the door right here to the left. You'll see them kind of right in front of you. Please don't go to the library because technically it's not open yet. So we go to the library, so we'll stay out of there until they technically open. Just out of curiosity, just to get an idea of who's here. Raise your hand if you're a Louisville resident business owner. Okay, and who's a Lafayette resident business owner? Okay, and who's an other? All right, so we're kind of split a third, so that's good to know. Today we'll kind of quickly run through this kind of our agenda. This is a little welcome, little housekeeping items. Louisville will give us some updates. Lafayette will give us some updates on what's going on there as well, and those respective towns. I've got Excel Energy here, who's got some awesome rebates and programs going on. Well, I'm Boulder County PACE, my colleague Jen there in the yellow, and I will talk a little bit about what's going on there. And then we're kind of kicking off with this Green Business programs. So those of you in Louisville, Lafayette know that you're kind of the OGs of the green business world, green business programs in the state. And so we'll be kicking those programs off really right around now as well. So with that, I will pass it over to Kayla to kick things off a little bit.
Hi everyone, I'm Kayla Bethold. I'm a sustainability coordinator at the City of Louisville. First, I'd like to introduce the other City of Louisville staff here today. So in the back, we have Austin Brown. He's our Economic Vitality Specialist. On the other side over here, we have a new Economic Vitality Manager, April Kroner. So welcome, April, to the city. And then in the back on this side, we have Amelia Brackett-Hugstead. She is a planner with the city, and she's working right now on a dark sky lighting ordinance. So if you have any questions about dark sky lighting or the ordinance that we're currently asking for feedback on, feel free to talk to Amelia in the back. Just a few quick updates on the city of Louisville. So we are currently working on an internal decarbonization plan. So we're working with a consulting firm to take a look at all of our city buildings, all of our fleet, all of our equipment, and make a transition plan for us to decarbonize. So getting fossil fuel combustion out of our city buildings, conversion of our fleet to electric, and also our trucks and equipment. We're trying to do as much as possible by 2030. So that plan will be complete this summer, and it'll be available to the public. It's a really great resource. I think it's going to provide a framework for businesses to really take a look at, what does it take to decarbonize buildings. We're also starting a community decarbonization plan, which is looking at how to transition our residential and our commercial sectors over to electrification to get fossil fuels out of our buildings in our community as well. So that's a project with Excel Energy that we're partnering on this year, and that should start in July. So if anyone, business owners or residents in Louisville, are interested in participating in stakeholder groups for that project, we are doing stakeholder recruitment in June. So feel free to talk to me and I can get you connected to the application process for that. And then workshops will be happening July through December for that project. And last but not least, I did want to announce that we are bringing on a full-time sustainability specialist. So I'm in the process of hiring for that position right now. And that person will be helping manage the Green Business Program this year. So we'll have a new staff member to introduce to all of you the next time you will hear. So thank you all for coming today.
I am Lizzie. Good morning. I am the sustainability manager for the city of Lafayette. So just a little recap of the Green Business Program here in Lafayette. It launched in 2013. We were the first municipality to launch a Green Business Program. Council adopted the first sustainability plan in March. We are actually updating that plan this year to a climate action plan to expand to categories such as transportation, air quality, community resilience, and water conservation, circular economy. So we're in the very first steps of recreating that plan and reimagining that plan. And we're going to start community engagement probably in June or July this year at Art Night Out and other community events. In 2022, so just last year, we rebranded the Green Business Program. So you can see, has anyone in here a Green Business here in Lafayette? Perfect. I see 2 of you, 3 of you. So we did rebrand. You can see the certificate and also the window decals, the circular logo. So for those of you that haven't participated in the past, I highly recommend it. It's a great way to get involved with PACE and also the city and get recognized. This year, we're also launching a reusable solutions for businesses. Jen from PACE is going to be talking about that later in this presentation, but ultimately we're helping businesses in transitioning to more reusables such as durables or a dishwasher. So more to come on that. Something we're also working on this year is a recycling ordinance that would require businesses to recycle. So we haven't started any of the outreach. Most likely will be in the summer months where we're trying to solicit feedback from you all through surveys and in-person visits. So if someone visits from the city, please know it's for a recycling ordinance. So that would mean that your business would need to recycle if it's not currently recycling. And with that, I'd love to turn it over to Excel.
Morning, everybody. My name is Zach Owens. I'm on Excel Energy's clean transportation team, and I'm here with my colleague Scott Johnson today to talk to you about our EV programs that are available. Do any of you have an EV? All right, awesome. Do any of you want to install EV charging at your business for those who do have EVs? All right, some interest. I love it. There's a lot of information here. I'm hoping we can provide the slides afterwards, but I just want to kind of touch on the highlights today of how you can connect with us and start navigating the process of installing EV chargers. So just very quickly, we have a clean transportation goal to enable 1 out of 5 vehicles to be electric in our service territory by 2050. And that's coupled with our company goals to be carbon neutral by 2050 as well. We do provide service in 8 states, and we currently have EV programs available in Colorado, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and New Mexico. So if you happen to have any business colleagues in these other states, definitely get them in touch with us as well, so that we can navigate their EV options. Before I dive into the program, I just want to orient us on some of the terminology that we use throughout our programs. So on the left side here, we have the traditional distribution grid. This is, what the utility is known for typically for owning and operating, and it goes through the transformer. So in Colorado, customers qualify for $350 per kW that you're installing of construction allowance. So the more level 2 chargers, the more fast chargers you install, the more construction credit you'll receive for that line extension portion. And our advisory services will work with you free of charge to look at your site and determine what your line extension costs may or may not be. I would say in about 90% of cases, there are no costs to the customer. But in that 10% of cases, there may be some out-of-pocket costs. And so we want to work with you so that you know what you're getting into. And then moving to the right here, essentially everything from the transformer through the charging stub is what we refer to as electric vehicle supply infrastructure. So that includes the meter, the conduit, the wiring, everything that's needed to get from the grid through the charging stub. And Xcel Energy will own and operate the electric vehicle supply infrastructure for a 10-year period. So what this does is it reduces the overall cost needed to install EV charging at your business. And then the chargers themselves, depending on your program type and what you're looking to implement, you could have the option to own and operate your chargers, or in some use cases, you can pay Xcel Energy a monthly fee and we will own and operate level 2 chargers for you. So this is, again, a very high level overview of the programs that we have available. We have a fleet electrification advisory program. So if any of you have fleet vehicles, we can work with you to install telematics devices in partnership with Cellwatch Labs and collect data on those vehicles for a minimum of 3 months. And then we could understand the use case of those vehicles and provide you a report on which vehicles make the most sense to convert to electric. And then we can feed that into our EV supply infrastructure program. So that's available for workplaces, fleets, community charging hubs, and multifamily buildings. Again, that's where we provide the free advisory services, inform you of your line extension costs, and then Xcel Energy owns and operates that EV supply infrastructure for a 10-year period. For charging as a service, this is where I mentioned multifamily, fleet, and workplace customers can pay Xcel Energy a monthly fee and will own and maintain the level 2 chargers for you. And then we do have some additional rebates available. There's a new construction rebate to support multifamily buildings that go above and beyond the minimum code requirement for a number of EV-ready parking spaces. And then I forgot to mention for our EV supply infrastructure program, we have a minimum of 4 level 2 ports for 50 kW fast charging. So if you don't meet that requirement, you could potentially qualify for our small business rebate where we provide up to $2,500 for wiring costs for those level 2 chargers. And then last but not least, we have income qualified and higher emissions communities rebates. So depending on your business type and your address, our advisor will kind of take a look and determine whether you might qualify for some of these additional rebates, which could help you offset the costs of the chargers. I will also mention, take a look at State of Colorado Energy Office. They have grants available that help offset the cost of the chargers as well. So if you're looking to own and operate your charging equipment, the intention is to really stack Xcel Energy, funding alongside those state grants. So take a look at Charge Ahead Colorado as well if you're interested in that route. So I know I'm throwing a lot at you. There are different customer types, different programs you could potentially qualify for. Our advisors are available to work with you step by step at any location you have to help navigate what you might qualify for, understand what your costs may be, help you apply, and ultimately work with you through design and construction. So please, if you're interested, come talk to us at our table over here. We want to hear about your projects and ideas, and we want to connect you with someone on our team that can really help you move through our process and navigate what your options may be. And a lot of this is just additional background information. Maybe we could provide the slide as a resource afterwards, because I know I only had about 10 minutes. So I just wanted to say, if you're ready to get started, come talk to us, or if you have your smartphone, you can scan this QR code on this slide. It's also available on the banner over there. It'll bring up an intake form, and it should just take a couple of minutes to fill out. And that'll connect you with someone on our team. We'll be in touch with you in the next couple of business days to kind of chat through your options and what the next steps are. I don't know if we have time for Q&A now or want to wait.
Yeah, we can go for questions now.
Okay.
Do people,
is there a difference between a EV charging unit for like a business versus a public one where people can just drive up and charge? How do people pay for it when they charge their vehicle?
Yes,
Like I don't own a vehicle. I don't, yeah.
There aren't necessarily any differences, but different chargers have different bells and whistles on them depending on what you want to install. So some of them have credit cards, some of them have RFID devices, so you can have a little fob. Some of them have smartphone readers. And so, you know, it's kind of up to you to determine what bells and whistles you want on it. You know, for like a fleet customer that's charging fleet vehicles, they might just have a fob device, right? Because they just want whoever is driving the fleet vehicle to fob in and charge it. But then if you're installing a public charger, you might want to give people coming to charge at your business the options, right? So like have a credit card reader, have the RFID device, have the smartphone option.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
So if it's a smartphone app system, is it one of the existing ones that might already have ChargePoint, EVgo, like Primerica, or is it an Excel Energy specific app?
It'll be whatever app that the charging equipment has. So if you install a ChargePoint charger, it would be the ChargePoint app, and so on and so forth. So in a lot of cases, when you show up to the charger, you kind of have to make sure you have the app that charger accepts. It's not necessarily standardized across the industry. We have some EVs in our fleet, and I drove the Ford Pro Lightning a couple of weekends ago and had to go to an Electrify America station, and I couldn't get like 2 of my cards to authenticate, so I ended up having to like download the app and put my credit card into the app. And so it was a learning experience for me, right? Like we're trying to get fast charging available to the public, and I was like struggling with this to navigate it. I think it will get easier over time. That was the first time, so I wasn't necessarily prepared, but you kind of have to be proactive and know, okay, what kind of charger is it, and am I ready to pay for it once I get there, depending on how it accepts it.
What's the average cost of installing it?
Average cost to install, that's a good question. I don't have any costs off the top of my head. I mean, I think, do you have any costs off the top of your head?
It varies. I mean, if you look at the entire project, it depends on each project. I hate to say that, but your average level 2 charger can range from maybe 5,000 to 15,000, depending on DCFC level 3 charger, and those what you see Tesla superchargers at malls and public charging sites. Those can range from $100,000 to $150,000 plus. For most purposes, for small businesses, I think customers are going to park there for at least an hour plus. Level B charging is probably what you need. Also, probably charging at home. 80% of the charging takes place at the home, so nobody's necessarily going to do all that regular flows necessarily. So we put level B charging for the smaller to medium businesses that customers going to be for us. But yeah, I mean, for the PV supply infrastructure, that can range. That could be up to $3,000 out of your pocket to tens of thousands of dollars potentially, just depending on where our existing grid is, where we have to tap from, the potential capacity available as well. So it does depend, but with our offering, most of that can be covered. It does depend on project by project basis. And our advisory services will basically give you a preliminary to provide quotes to show what would be out of pocket outside of the charter.
And then if you apply for those Charger Hedge Colorado grants, they fund up to 80% of project costs. So if you're getting a $10,000 charger at $52,000, that you're funding, for example. Yeah.
I want to mention as the EV charging station owner that we get really focused, and I got really focused on the cost of installation, getting grants to cover it, and all the other costs. But it's also important to know that there are ongoing costs associated with licensing software from whatever use ChargePoint, support plans, things like that. So there are some ongoing costs that it's really important as advisors to make sure you're mindful about.
Yeah, it's a great point. Are we on time?
Yeah, we'll do one more question, Dan, real quick, and then other questions, we can probably save till after talk, just for these guys who stay on track, but yeah, Dan, go ahead.
I'm sure your answer is gonna be really quick. We would love to buy an electric vehicle and wondering if there's any Excel help for us to actually buy the vehicle, not the charging station.
We do have incentives available for income qualified customers to help offset the cost of the electric vehicle. I don't think I have a slide with that on. I could follow up with you to give you that information. Unfortunately, we don't have any programs available for businesses right now to help offset the cost of the vehicles. It's just for income qualified residents.
I will say there are some unique pilot opportunities where we will assist in paying for the vehicle, but it's on a very particular pilot basis. So, for example, we have a paratransit offering right now in partnership research and innovation portfolio, which that will help pay for the cost of this very unique electric vehicle. I mean, that case by case basis there. We do have rebates for residential customers.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great questions, a couple other Excel ones. But if you guys have any questions, in addition to the ones we asked, which are all great, we're gonna all obviously stick around past 9 o'clock. Yeah.
I was gonna say, maybe go back to the previous slide.
One more forward.
Yeah, this talks about the information for the Drive Clean Colorado, and more importantly, the Charging Colorado grant on the bottom. And I was gonna say Charge Ahead Colorado has these great, what do they call them, charge coaches. And so you can call or you can email them and get someone on the phone, and they will help you navigate the application process for the grant.
Yeah, and it's ever changing. You've probably seen the news last couple of days. There's more incentives coming out from the Inflation Reduction Act, and there's local incentives from the state. So it's kind of ever changing. There's there are and are going to be even more incentives coming down the line. So our job as sustainability advisors, as Excel reps, as city sustainability folks, is to kind of help navigate some of that. So talk to us on an individual basis as well. We also have some great resources of the partners that have EV charging stations already. Like Tom said, he's got one at Confluence. Some other folks I know in the room have been looking into it as well. So we're all kind of in this together to try to figure out the best solution. So we'll see what information we can get for everybody that's nice and accurate and up to date as things continue to change. Cool. And so it's about 8:35 now. If anyone needs to get more food, go for it. We're gonna try to wrap up by 9 o'clock. Be respectful of your time, but if everyone's got to leave early, obviously go for it. Otherwise, we'll all be kind of hanging out here for another half hour to an hour afterwards to talk individually. So PACE, we got heard from City of Louisville, City of Lafayette, Excel as well. I know quite a few of you in this room, but we are Boulder County Partners for Clean Environment. We're a county program administered through the county, funded mostly from the City of Boulder. Interestingly enough, they throw a lot of money our way for our program, but the other cities as well get quite a bit of funding. So what we do is we provide on-site assessments for your business. Go out, take a look at the lights, HVAC equipment, water equipment, waste practices, anything that really has to do with sustainability. And then we provide either rebates or incentives. We have a lot of offerings we give out. We have a lot of partner programs, partnerships with other programs that we can really connect you with, so that you can really kind of go above and beyond where you're currently at in terms of sustainability. So we really look at energy, waste, water, and transportation. Energy is kind of a big one when you're talking sustainability. So a lot of our rebates and programming is really centered around that. There's been a lot of changes to waste recently, which I probably should have mentioned as well. It's one thing I always know I forget something in my little housekeeping items. But you guys are probably familiar with the compost situation. A1 Organics is no longer accepting, compostable plates or paper towels, that kind of thing, as of just a few weeks ago. So your food scraps, unfortunately, at this event a year ago would have gone on the compost. We don't actually have compost here anymore, so that's going to go to the trash. But any bottles you use over there, foil, that kind of thing, and still go recycling. Yeah, Amy.
I have a quick plug to request all these plastic bottles. We have a school and we're starting a project called EcoBricks, using single-use clean plastic to make bricks for a bunch of fun projects. So please feel free to just neatly stack your empty bottles and they will be made into new material.
They're not even recycling, we're using it, it's even better, so perfect, thank you, so everyone did that, that'd be awesome, yeah.
I have a question. Can you use plastic like this to fill the bottle?
Yes. Yes.
So you want this
If,
too?
if not too much. Sorry to.
No,
We're very relaxed here in Kansas, so this is absolutely no fun.
Amy Benson May with Treehouse Learning. So we're Early Childhood Education Center and our philosophy is whole brain, whole person, whole planet. And so, yeah, I would love to collect all the single-use plastic or things that could be stuffed into a bottle and kids can weigh them. We can use them to build little, we have some sort of outdoor projects in mind, not garden beds for growing food, but yeah, we'd love to collect all the wrappers, anything that would go in the landfill and the bottles, especially the square ones, because they're really neatly stackable. So this is something we're just kind of getting started, but we need enough uniform bottles to kind of create some prototypes. So, thank you.
So I put this here so we can put all the bottles.
Thank you.
You
can take the back.
Thank you.
Educating our next generation of sustainability professionals, so thank you very much. Cool, so that's the quick little side item there with the weight. Then water, we give out high efficiency water equipment, transportation, bike racks, help with the charging station grants as well. So we're doing anything under that sustainability umbrella, on the one-stop shop. Our kitchen equipment program, I'll go through this, Jennifer, did you want to go through this?
no, you go through
Okay,
these
cool.
until the
So yeah,
20.
this used to be our small business equity program, then we realized we should really be keeping equity in everything that we do at Pace. So we're calling it our kitchen equipment program now, but for anyone that owns a restaurant, or knows someone that owns a restaurant and has some really old equipment in there that's using a lot of energy, costing a lot of money, food safety issues related to that as well. We can help pay for up to 70% of the cost of new fridges, freezers, ice machines, merchandisers, really kind of focusing on small restaurants. So we're not looking at big chains or anything like that, but any kind of small locally owned restaurants, especially those that maybe don't speak English as a first language or just don't have a lot of employees. That's what we're really trying to help out. So it's kind of a neat program. Going into our third year of that one, we have a new distributor that we're working with too. So we're really excited to get that going. That should launch really the next week or so. So hopefully soon, very soon, any day now. Climate Action Challenge. This is something that my colleague / another local Lafayette small business owner, Tom Hardy, has done some great work on. Let's get this for now. And basically will help kind of monitor or look at your energy usage. So look at your electric and gas usage, see what that looks like over the course of a couple of years. And we'll kind of look at a baseline year, usually 2019 pre-pandemic levels, and then set climate-based goals for a kind of a reduction target. So say, you're right here right now with your energy use, and by 2030, you want to be kind of right here. And so how do you get there? How do you make that 20 or 30 or 50% reduction? And kind of looking at different steps that we can take to get there. So then we track and report progress, so we'll kind of check in every year. So this is just something that we've really been working on a lot the last couple of years, and it's been a really exciting program that Pace has had recently. Green business programs, that's kind of why a lot of folks come to these. Lafayette actually started the whole green business program movement, I should say, in Colorado back in 2010. So now we're in like year 13. I always get that number wrong. It's year 12 or 13, maybe 14 by now. Louisville hopped on a few years later. But really, we have this green business program where you log online. There's pretty much a checklist or a kind of set of questions you answer about your business regarding your lights, regarding your waste practices, your water fixtures, and you get a points percentage. And you look, and depending on your points compared to the rest of the businesses in Lafayette, you get either gold, silver, or bronze level of recognition. So this is really just a way to kind of recognize what local businesses are doing in the community. It's not just the environmental aspect, but the social aspect as well, thanks to Berenice's efforts in Longmont a few years ago, as well as economic efforts. So really all-encompassing sustainability program. And then, of course, looking at next steps, what you can do if you're a silver level business, what can you do to get to gold? If you're bronze, how do you get to silver? And so the state actually kind of adopted this program a couple of years ago, saw how popular it was spreading like crazy through the county. Wheat Ridge wanted to do one, and Fort Collins had one. And so the state's done a great job of kind of herding all the cats and then coming up with one big main application that a lot of the small towns are kind of in the transition, are in the process of transitioning to. So we're seeing that quite a bit and working really closely with the state. Louisville and Lafayette are keeping a local program now, traditional checklist we've been using. But in the next couple of years, I think everyone's going to be transitioning over to that state program. As I mentioned, Lafayette, and I was kind of the starter of the Green Business Programs, but 13 years ago. Louisville hopped on, and now everyone except for Lions and Boulder, I know, interestingly enough, Boulder doesn't have a Green Business Program in the county. So yeah, we have a recognition event at the end of the year. We give out window things, door decals. We usually do like a newspaper article. There's advertisements through Google Ads or local. There's any camera ads we've done in the past. Ongoing support as well. So, invites to these kind of events, kind of first to know about certain bonus rebates or whatever else might be in the pipeline. So lots of nice little benefits to this program. And I just kind of threw this up here. This is what the checklist looks like. You'll see there's questions like energy, waste, transportation, water. In the community area is where you have those social and economic questions. But it's really yes, no, or not applicable. It takes about an hour or so to go through the application. PACE advisors like myself or Jen are happy to help you out as well if you haven't participated in the program before. And then once you save that application and submit it, you don't have to do it the next year. You just go in, you update your application, so you upgraded some lights or you added some bike racks. You go and you get more points to help you kind of boost you up to the next level. So it's been a great recognition program and we've had a lot of success, but it's always changing a little bit.
Is that a rolling application or is it a deadline?
Yeah, good question. So it used to be rolling, I believe, in Lafayette a few years ago. Right now, it's kind of a shifting application. It used to be that it was a September through December timeframe. This year, we're kind of shifting it up a little bit because it's tough to recognize businesses in December and then the decal that everyone's going to see the next year. So this is kind of the event where we're kicking it off this year. So it's really going to be kind of a late April, May 1st through say July timeframe. So yeah, September, sorry. So we'll go through September this year. So it's going to be the summer application period, and we'll do probably an October-ish recognition event, but there'll be more details on that. All right, new PACE programs from 2023. I'll pass it off to Jen to talk about some of these.
Hi, my name is Jen, and I'm with PACE. So I am going to talk about some of the exciting new programs we have for 2023. The first one is our building electrification study. So this is a great program for the business owner building owner that wants to try to decarbonize, wants to electrify. Maybe I have a couple furnaces, maybe a couple ACs, I want a different end of life points, and I want to try to electrify, but I don't know what that looks like. Plus, I don't know if the infrastructure of my building can even support electrifying. So this study is designed, this program is designed to help people get past that. The incentive is $1,500 plus 50 cents per square feet, up to 50% of the project cost, with a $10,000 cap for most properties. However, if you're a small business equity partner or a nonprofit serving low income, it's $1,500 plus a dollar per square foot, up to $50,000 up to the project costs. We have we're putting in with a list of contractors that we've pre-vetted, and that list is on our website. We recommend you get a few bids if you can, because prices do range. And then we have more information at pacepartners.com/energy. We also have a number of incentives for replacing the gas using items with electric items, specifically heat pumps. So we have our incentive for $1,000 per ton for LEED certified cold climate air source heat pump or ground source heat pump. $500 per ton for non-cold climate air source heat pump. And then for if you want to replace a water heater with a heat pump water heater, we have a $500 per unit for Energy Star certified heat pump certified water heaters. And on top of that previous slide, did you have a quick question?
Yeah, what's the ton referred to? How much CO2 you're replacing, or what is that? What?
On space,
Yeah, please do.
Refers to the rating of air conditioner. It's based on the tons of waste it would take to reduce the tank for a certain grade. So it's a standard rating for air conditioner. So you know, I installed a heat pump system recently, and I think in my 500 square foot space, I installed a 1.5 ton. So I think it's
It goes back many, many years when you're referencing tons of ice. So it's kind of an interesting way to gauge things.
But I did want to say, introduce Tom Hardy. He is a PACE advisor, and he also owns Confluence Business Collective right down the end of South Public. And just last year installed a new heat pump. He's happy to give tours if you want to come by and see what it looks like, how it works, and just talk a little more about it.
And if I could just maybe take a step back. Heat pump is a condensing unit of indoor systems that heats and cools, so on electricity. So the idea is that we're replacing natural gas heating and your traditional air conditioning with somebody with the double very efficient. So we're taking a look at, and the electrification study that PACE is offering is a way to find out, you know, what that's going to take, what it's going to cost. It's, you know, it's feasible in your building. So PACE is trying to pair those two things together to really get people over that hump. We're learning about it and figuring out it's something that's ready.
It can be overwhelming, and this can pair in nicely with Louisville's efforts to decarbonize businesses as well. So in addition to those heat pump incentives, we have this $500 bonus rebate for the removal and replacement of boilers, furnace, water heaters with heat pump electric technology.
Will that include labor costs as well? Would that include labor costs?
I think it's just a
Just 500.
Yeah, I think that's what for this bonus replacement's $500. I think. Yeah.
You can use whatever you want.
Yeah, for most PACE rebates, we factor in labor and taxes and everything as well. But I think this the gas replacement bonus would just be a number on top of whatever the other rebate will be.
And if you need someone to install heat pumps, I have good resources. So come to me.
Mrs. Berenice Garcia Tellez, she's a big deal in the sustainability world there in Boulder County if you haven't met her yet.
Yeah, I will say that it seems that knowledge for heat pump technology and installation varies among contractors. So that's why it's a great idea to get multiple bids. That's also one of the reasons that we have this list of contractors on our website that we know they're qualified. We work with them before we call them, before we launch the program, and say, well, you partner with that. So that's it's good to find out someone who has some experience with that. Okay, we also have some other rebates that support electrification. We have still have our solar rebate. It's $75 per watt up to $10,000. We also have rebates for installation, roof, attic, and wall installation. Insulation, depending on the application, there's a rebate range there. We have a few other energy efficiency rebates as well, which are on our website, which I'm going to navigate through when I'm done, just to show you where those are. And we have a new exciting program we literally just launched last week. It's our electric landscape equipment rebate. So the goal here is to help professional commercial landscapers get off gas-powered mowers, blowers, weed whackers, for obvious reason, noise, air quality, gas. So the program covers approximately 70% of the cost of eligible commercial electric landscape equipment, half of $10,000 per recipient. And we're working with, I think, 3 different vendors to source the equipment. And we're also working with is it AGSA, Matt?
Yeah, I think that's the
AGSA, which is an organization that has done this type of program in other municipalities. So they're guiding us to make sure we get the right equipment that can handle the job, as well as have safety features for the landscapers. Okay, again, you can go to pacepartners.com energy for details and apply for all of these rebates. Oh, the last one I want to talk about is what Lizzie mentioned. This is for the city of Lafayette only. We have our reusable solution incentive, and this is designed to help business get off single-use anything, basically. So the incentive covers 50% of total project costs up to $1,000. There's a form on our website. The idea is that the business has an idea that they want to use to get off single use, and they present that to PACE for funding. So we don't have like a pre-scripted list of things you should do. It really is what works for your business to get off single use. Some of the examples might be durable dishware for your conference room or your staff kitchen, reusable takeout containers, or dishwashers. Again, there's more information at pacepartners.com waste. I will say that there are businesses like Deliver Zero that provide a reusable takeout container service. And we're not quite to the point of being able to use this rebate for that because those services aren't in the municipalities yet, other than the city of Boulder, but we're hoping to get there in the next couple of years. Okay, I wanted to show you really quick. So this is the PACE Partners website, and I've referred to this a couple of times, so I just want to show you. If you go over here to rebates and incentives, you can either navigate down to the different areas I mentioned, energy, waste, water, transportation, water conservation, transportation, etc. Or if you just click on it, you get these icons, and then you can click on those. And for example, if you come down here, this is all about the building electrification study. You can see the value, the dollar values. Here you can see the criteria needs to meet, the list of contractors, etc. And again, all these rebates you should contact your PACE advisor first to make sure all the bases are covered and the funds are set aside prior to engaging with the contractor. So that is everything we have. So we can do questions. Yes.
Jen, I'm curious, how is PACE funded? There's a lot of great incentives and money available. Where did your resources coming from?
Well, PACE is funded by the city of Boulder, and it's mainly through a sustainability tax, I believe. So I'm not sure if that's a sales tax or real estate tax, but it generates a lot of money for sustainability programs across the county, from green business programs to housing to air quality to a number of things.
Your
Yeah.
tax dollars at work.
Yeah, so it's-
Your tax dollars at work.
Yes, your tax dollars.
exactly. So City of Boulder kicks in a lot of money for our program. So like Tom's the City of Boulder advisor, as well as are most of my colleagues. I'm actually the only advisor, as well as Jen, that works outside the City of Boulder. But the county also kicks in funding. So Boulder County taxpayers voted I don't know, 20 years ago, and then renewed the tax a couple of years ago in 2020 for another 15 years, but basically 0.25% of your property taxes go to this open space and the sustainability fund. So 0.125% of your property taxes go to the sustainability fund that pay for these rebates or bike racks or recycling bins we give out. So it's all kind of coming around full circle as a business owner.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One of the sort of big costs is like buying new equipment and furniture, things like that. And also if I'm looking dumpsters, I see lots of old equipment and furniture and things like that. Is there some way of coordinating I've got stuff to throw away and I've got stuff that I need to replace?
Purchase?
Yeah, purchase.
PACE doesn't have anything like that per se. It's a great idea, but
I know Resource Central in
Oh,
Boulder has a new materials reuse program. I don't know for certain if it applies to commercial businesses, but I would start there. You can call Resource Central. You can actually schedule them to come out to your location and pick up furniture and office item, different, they have a list of items that they accept. If they're in the condition where they can be reused, they'll come and pick them up and then take them back to their location in Boulder and resell them.
Also, I'm having a client that she's starting an circular economy businesses, and she's taking old furniture or items and making them look pretty and selling them again, especially for immigrant families and refugees.
that's a great resource. Yeah, so if you haven't been out to Resource or Charm, I think it's really fun to go out there, but it's whole plaza where they have Charm Center for Hard to Recycle Materials, and they make all sorts of stuff like block styrofoam, mattresses, old toilets, for like a $3 entrance fee, you can bring in and get rid of a lot of things. Electronics are sometimes a little more of a fee, but great place. And then right next to it is Resource. They just remodeled. Fun to go shop. There's a ton of different materials there. Yeah, right off of Arapahoe and like 6,400 or something.
There's a tool library.
And the tool library, which is a really cool resource where let's say you need a post hole digger once in your life, you don't want to go buy one, you can go to the tool library and rent it for a couple bucks, I think.
They'll also shred your hard drive.
Sorry?
They'll also shred your hard drive with your computer, so.
Oh, that's right.
Security standpoint, they take that metal, they shred it, you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, and they use a reputable recycler for the electronics. I think it's a Blue Star,
Yep.
which is important to know that you're not just, they're not shipping our e-waste over to some, they're worth under burn or something.
This is maybe a little off of just to pace, but with the A1 and the compost, what do we as a community do? I mean, how I understand there's an education component, and also just, I mean, what's the plan out of this? You know, to get back to having, you know, actually effective sustainable composting programs.
Well, Lizzie just hosted an event, I think, a couple nights ago with A1. So maybe I'll let you.
Yeah, last week, the city of Louisville and city of Lafayette hosted a presentation with our manufacturer of compost, A1 Organics. And really it's to keep it simple. So just food scraps and plant and yard materials. And ultimately the goal is to keep the stream clean. You can't even imagine what individuals are putting in their compost, drywall, we saw garage spring, metal, a lot are hiding garbage items or construction material underneath leaves. So our drivers for Republic Services and Waste Connections and Western are being more vigilant to try to identify those metals or those contaminants in the compost stream. So both Louisville, Lafayette, EcoCycle, Boulder's Denver regional issue where we're educating. So as businesses who may or may have not have compost in your own business, just ensure that there's clear signage, that individuals know it's just food waste and plant and yard materials. So that's the goal, is to try to re-educate individuals.
So I'm just wondering, these are supposed to be compostable. Can we recycle them now?
No, so those would be in the garbage. There is a study being done right now through EcoCycle in Boulder County on the benefit of continuing to purchase compostable products over, let's say, like Dixie products that are plastic single use. So that study will be out soon.
And just if you compost at home, they still take the little 3-gallon compostable bags. So if you use that for like your kitchen compost, you can still do that.
Yeah, are there initiatives going on with base now that are trying to inform the public more about these things? I don't believe that recycling is a fish. We take this recycling and throw it away anyway. Is there rationale for not recycling?
So each of our cities are doing education around this, including PACE. PACE has their own recycling and compost incentives where they can educate businesses on the importance of recycling. But recycling is really important, especially because all those materials get sent to a local facility, get separated into single streams of glass, plastic, and then they all stay within the United States, which is really nice. And glass stays even more locally, just down the street, just outside of Dillon Road. There's a glass manufacturer, and then they send it to Rocky Mountain Bottle Company for to recreate glass. So there's a unique local story for all of our recycling items that you place in your recycling carts.
And I'll add that EcoCycle is trying to do a good job through community engagement and eco leaders to get the word out that what you can recycle and that Boulder County does a really good job of recycling, and like Lizzie said, with like hyper local markets and then markets within our country, you hear a lot about other places in our country that that's not the case. But here in Boulder County, we really do have an amazing system and partner with EcoCycle. And if you ever have never toured the recycling center, it's pretty cool to go and watch what happens in there with all the sorting and the machinery. You can do tours. We can help arrange a group tour. So if you'd like to do something like that, let us know, because it's pretty neat.
And I actually usually organize a tour for businesses this time of year, so that's a good reminder. So I'm gonna get on top of that. Probably the next month or so, look for an invite. If you're not on the PACE newsletter, if you don't have any PACE contacts, reach out to me because I'll probably organize something. Hour-long tour, go see everything in action. Really need to actually like see where all the stuff goes when it just disappears in a truck.
And you'll know why it's so important to keep those garbage items out of the recycling and no food in the recycling as well.
And no plastic bags.
Yeah. All right, so it's 9 o'clock. Thank you for coming. I wanted to make a quick plug for Earth Week this week. April 22nd is Earth Day. There's several events going on in both Lafayette and Louisville, so look at our website. This week, we're also launching the Sustainability Film Series with Youth Be Gov. That is in partnership with Louisville, Lafayette, Superior, and Broomfield. And Confluence here in Lafayette is also going to be hosting watch parties for the entirety of the season. So look on social and our web pages. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Good job.